Hello YouTube and welcome to another insightful, thoughtful and hopefully hilarious episode. And to answer the questions about what all this news means, I have with me the delightful, daring and dangerous Miss Jenni Morgan.
Hi, Jen. Hi, good evening everyone.
I have the brash, bold and Buddhist Jay from NevermoreTavern. Hi Jay.
Hello.
And we also have the jovial, jaunty and jokey BionicDance. Hi Kate.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Goodly. And we do have the punctual, pragmatic and pretty Punchy, who's been a little less punctual because he's got computer issues. But he will be here in a moment. As anyone knows who's seen any of these shows, we go through a few different news story articles from the week, and I give these guys clues to them, and they try and figure out what it is I'm talking about. Most of them are quite humorous in their own fashion, and yeah, basically we're just going to see where this ends up taking us.
Oh boy.
Okay, so for our first up one, we may as well start without Punchy. He can catch up. There's been something happening in California recently. In stark contrast to earlier this year, a request for help has gone out in an opposite direction.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's the only clue we get.
Okay, so the governor of California has requested help from a couple of countries to help with something that's happening at the moment.
Oh.
Well, it's California. There's all kinds of things.
I mean, I'm in California.
Well, something that would have concerned people in my country earlier this year.
Okay, so I'm guessing that the California governor is asking other countries for masks.
No, not masks.
I was going to say, I'm going to go for toilet paper.
I would go for assistance to fight the fires.
Oh, well played, Jenny. Well played. Yes, the governor of California has requested assistance from both Canada and Australia for help in fighting over 560 blazes across the state.
Damn.
Yeah,
I've been seeing footage of literal flame hurricanes going.
Yeah, it's quite insane. It's every bit as bad as the fires that we had in Australia earlier. Well, end of last year and earlier this year.
But they could have avoided all of that if they just would have been sweeping the forest floor like Trump said they should. they just didn't. They didn't listen.
No, I've got pictures of all these weekend soldiers. You know, the reserves out there with rakes and in great big long lines raking all the leaves in the forests. Although, would it be that bad of an idea?
I guess their total burned area is up to pretty much the size of the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, I haven't caught up with what we had, but I mean, it's been a lot shorter period of time, and it's actually quite intense and yeah, not great. But I find the humor in that. Well, it's not funny that there's fires like this, but the fact that we're being asked to help you guys, basically because we've had so much experience in the last 12 months on dealing with large bushfires, so. And it kind of makes sense. And it does sort of make sense to come and ask us because, you know, it's our winter, so there's less likely to be fires over here anyway. So our fireys probably need the practice coming up for next summer for us. Because I can't imagine this country's not going to be a blazing inferno again.
So I guess this is Earth now, huh?
Sorry?
I said, so I guess this is Earth now, huh?
Yeah, I think this is the way we've got ourselves to the point that each summer in the more tropical areas, you know, anywhere between the two tropics, we're going to have lots of fires.
I seen something yesterday.
Yeah.
It said, just remember, Mad Max was set in 2021.
Oh.
Was
Well,
it?
I don't think we're going to have a nuclear post-apocalyptic world, but we could have a climate change post-apocalyptic world.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
If things in the U.S. get really nasty and people start seceding, I mean, there's nukes all over this country. I don't know what the hell will happen.
Yeah. Do you think that America would nuke itself?
No.
I don't. Well, I mean, let's put it this way: someone might get hold of something and might try to do it without anyone's permission.
I
Or
could
maybe
imagine
it's
that.
many Black Ryan movies. I don't know.
I could imagine someone might try to nuke Trump.
Why? I imagine he might try to nuke the people seceding.
That's possible as well. Unlikely though. I mean, no one particularly wins a nuclear war. I could technically see you guys having a civil war if it got bad enough, especially if he got re-elected.
It might be coming.
I mean, you already had the civil unrest.
I find it very
I don't
interesting.
think it was particularly civil, to be honest.
No, it's an interesting phrase, that isn't it? Civil unrest. Oh, I jolly
It just
don't
sounds
like
like
what
you're
you're doing.
talking
Could you
and
please
turning.
stop it?
Okay, so yeah, I did kind of come in a little bit late. So, what are we talking about right now? Or is it
Well,
just
we're
kind of-
talking about the California fires and how the governor of California has actually asked Australia and Canada to please come and help. In a bit of a turnaround from how it was late last year and earlier this year, where Australia was begging for California to come over and help us. So, and then we've moved on from there into a post-apocalyptic world where America's nuking itself.
This is not fun.
This one's not fun. Okay, shall we move on to something a bit more weird?
Yeah, I'm looking for a Florida man.
We'll get there eventually. Okay. This next story though is from England, and it's about somebody who wanted to disappear from the public eye. Only he probably could have done with he probably could have done with a spell checker.
Donald Trump?
No, it's set in England.
Is it a member of the royal family?
It is not.
Okay, so not them.
Boris Johnson.
Is it a whistleblower of any sort?
Oh.
Well, those who I was thinking of.
Yeah,
you
no,
would've just
he's
said
not
yes.
necessarily a whistleblower. He just had a few debts around the place and decided he wanted to completely disappear. So he did something to try. He did something to try and make it look like he was no longer around. However, had he used a spell checker, he might have been a tad more successful.
Was it Rowan Atkinson?
No, it was not Rowan.
It's the only British guy I know.
What? You don't even know the cast of Monty Python?
I'm a little too young for that.
Nobody's too young
I'd like to
for
rephrase
Monty
that. I've got this
Python.
wrong. It's not an English person. This person actually is an English teacher. And he's
An English
actually
teacher
he's
in
actually
England.
from New
Okay.
York. I actually misread the article. So there you go.
Well, that threw the whole thing out of whack.
No, it doesn't.
Um,
He's actually from New York. He was an English teacher, and he wanted to disappear. So he forged something to make it look like he wasn't going to be a problem.
Forged a death certificate?
Yeah.
He did forge a death certificate.
Yeah.
Which,
And did he fail to check his own name? Please say it was his own name.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
I am Raven Katz.
So the guy's name is Robert Berger, and he tried to forge legal documents in October in a bid to fake his own death. So he did this last year, but the court stuff's only just come through. And and trying to dodge a jail sentence for fraud, basically.
So he's an English teacher, and
he is an English teacher.
Unraveling was spelling.
His unraveling was spelling. So upon inspection of the certificate, it was noted that the font type and size changed in the document. So not only did he misspell something, he had 2 different fonts. Additionally, prosecutors observed the word registry in the department name was misspelled registry.
Wait, was one of the fonts Comic Sans?
Oh, that would be brilliant. I wish it said that in the article, but it does not.
Wow.
And it's funny because back when I was like in grade 8 or 9, one of my shop teachers, because he taught like metal shop, wood shop, and computer graphics or computer design, whatever the class was called. And he said, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but he said back when him and his friends were young, they went to the States, and because in the States you have to be 21 to drink and smoke, right? Whereas here it's 18, so they had to make fake IDs. And I guess on one of their IDs, their birthday said February 31st, and they convinced the bouncer at the bar that in Canada, February has 31 days. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it would be pretty funny to try that.
Wow.
The dreadful part about this is he went to an awful lot of effort to make this fake death certificate. He got hold of the correct paper that they use that's watermarked, and he copied the layout that they had. The lawyers in the case said had it not been for his 2 mistakes in the fact that he used a different font to the original thing he copied, and that he'd not made that spelling mistake, no one probably would have figured it out for a very long time.
So
now, was this guy rich, or just he was sick and tired of something? He wanted to get away from someone? Why was he hiding?
Okay, apparently he'd committed some fraud.
Just a little fraud.
Yeah, and vehicle theft. So Grand Theft Auto is not a good thing to have on your record.
Like nerdy in the chat said, trying to dodge a jail sentence for fraud by committing more fraud.
Fraud, yeah.
Well,
it worked so well in the past.
And he's a teacher.
Yeah,
and he's a teacher. That's the bit that gets me. You go to all this effort to make this thing, and you basically get tumbled over a spelling error. And you're an English teacher.
It never fails to amaze me how often criminals do really, really stupid things to screw up a good plan.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how, or I can't believe how many times I've heard from cop friends and stuff how they've pulled over some guy because they had expired license on their car or a burnt out tail light or brake light, and they end up carrying just tens of thousands of dollars worth of drugs. And it's like, okay, if you know you're going to be taking something so risky, don't you think about checking these other things that could goof you up? You know.
I think they get to a point where
that there's like this one story I keep hearing about. Like, I don't know why it keeps coming across my internet, but it does. But some guy who thought that if you drenched yourself in lemon juice, nobody could see you.
Yeah.
So
oh my God!
Rob a bank, and naturally, of course, they see him just a little bit, and like the whole time while he's being arrested, he's so boggled. He's like, but I wore the juice, and like he genuinely didn't understand that lemon juice doesn't make you invisible.
Is
like lemons.
Is that because lemon juice is often shown to kids as being one of those things that you can do invisible writing with, and his brain went from that to.
I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know, but I can only assume.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Yeah, like for a full grown adult to think that, like, I mean, did he not like maybe do a little test first and
stand in front of a mirror,
or take a picture of himself or something, like, or did he think that because he was wearing it he could see himself? Like, I really want to know what was going through his mind when he did that.
Yeah, he could have just gone over to the next door neighbor. Hey, Bob, you can see me, right? You know,
exactly. Like, and if your neighbor shits his pants out of fear at a voice out of nowhere. If not, you probably got a stupid idea.
Yeah. But I think this
Some
comes
things
down
just
to the
need
same
more
sort of,
research.
this comes down to the same sort of thing as flat earthers, where they've got this concept that what they believe is right, no matter what. And no one's going to dissuade them from this, despite the fact that the cop was able to figure out where their arms were and put them in handcuffs.
A little difference though, being a flat earther, unless you're Nathan Thompson, doesn't usually land you in jail.
Well, that's true.
I still want to know, like, what's going through a flat earther's head where they're like,
Nothing.
I have to argue for this. I have to. The fate of fill in the blank depends on my arguing that the earth is flat. Like,
Well,
okay.
with a flat earther, one thing I can say is because it's really tough to tell on the internet who's a Poe and who's serious. But I know one flat earther in real life, and he literally fits the description to a T. Conspiracy theorists for everything. Like if it comes from any source of authority, he won't believe it. He'll believe stuff on YouTube. They don't put a lot of proper, actual critical thinking into what they're talking about. They'll just see a couple of videos on YouTube, and because, of course, with certain flat Earth arguments, you can cherry pick the data and make it look believable if that's the only single thing you look at. And that was exactly what he would say, and he would talk. He even had the whole NASA means to deceive in Hebrew thing. It's like everything you could think of. And so I think it just has to do with the fact that they hear it and they just think, yeah, the government's lying to us, and they feel it's kind of their duty to go let everyone know that they're being lied to.
I
think that's the
pick a
biggest
flat earther article.
People who buy one conspiracy theory tend to buy all the others that are out there, especially if they're a flat earther, because that's kind of the mother lode of conspiracy theories. It's really kind of a tragic mental health story.
Well, I have one other really quick question. Punchy, are you Canadian?
No.
Sorry, I wanted to make it sound like weird, sinister, icky. No, Canada's great except for Quebec. Anyway, so...
Most Canadians agree with that statement, though, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm not saying nothing. But no, believe me, because you don't really know me, but if you ever see me in the side chat or in other streams, I rag on Canada all the time.
He does, too.
Punchy is from Winnipeg.
Yeah. The coldest major city in Canada. And one of the hottest major cities in Canada. Fuck me.
Sounds like where I was raised, Vermont. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Manitoba.
Shall we move on to the next one?
All right.
Seeing as how you guys did that so well. So this one involves a village in Nottinghamshire, a farmyard escape, and a bird.
So you say a village in New Hampshire, a farmyard escape,
Nottinghamshire,
and a bird?
so in England. This one's actually from England. So in Nottinghamshire, so there's a village there, a farmyard escape, and a bird.
Someone came in to steal a hen because they had read an article online that particular hen laid golden eggs.
I wish. And that might be me. If it was...
Sheep got out and a bird wrangled them in.
Oh no, that would be brilliant. That really would be brilliant. Yeah. Whilst this is good, this is an unusual animal to find in England.
Okay, then. I think that a cow got out of its pen and somehow managed to find a wild turkey, befriended it, and now they're inseparable.
Oh, now that's a good story. That's a nice, warm-hearting story. It's not true, but...
Well, no one tell Disney till I can sell them the rights.
Oh,
Well,
brilliant.
if you're gonna-
I mean, come on, does that sound like a pitch for a Pixar movie or what?
I like Mark's comment. The Wombles of Wimbledon had a night out on the piss and went on a crime spree.
Would this be the story about the ostrich?
It would not be a story about an ostrich.
Oh, all right.
It is a story about a black and white bird.
Okay, so a penguin.
Penguin?
It's a penguin.
Alright.
A penguin got in a fight with a sheep.
Kangaroo.
Because there's so many kangaroos in Nottinghamshire.
Well, yeah, because they say
Oh,
they're
yeah.
a penguin, but there's a penguin there, so who the
Yeah,
fuck knows what's
penguins
going to
are-
be there?
Yeah. Maybe it was at a zoo.
It wasn't a zoo.
Well, I
it was
think it's
it was
like-
a farm. It was a penguin farm.
Penguin. He was a penguin rancher.
A penguin.
In
Yeah, a
England.
penguin rancher in England. Of all the weird things.
England.
Humboldt penguins. So they're about knee high. Managed to escape and were walking up the street in there, and the cops had to pull over, and it was actually more than one bird, and the police officers there had to try and round them up in the middle of the street in England.
Huh.
So they got a ride in the paddy wagon back to the farmyard, and all was well, but not the kind of thing you'd expect to see in England.
So the penguin rancher needed help from the penguin wranglers.
The penguin wranglers, yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a classically British story.
Yeah,
Very,
apparently
yeah.
they nicknamed one of the penguins Popo. I have no idea why they haven't said.
The popo got wrangled by the popo.
They wrangled Popo. Apparently seeing penguins walk up the middle of the road was quite rather a bizarre finding in a small English village.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Well, that'd pretty much be in any village anywhere except the South Pole, wouldn't it? Or South Africa or the South Pole.
There are some coastal towns in South Australia that will have penguins walk into them.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because my friends went to Australia a couple of years ago, and they said they saw some penguins there.
And I'd
So-
assume you to get the same thing in South America as well. Because
Does anybody know where sorry, brain cramp now, Bruce Wayne is these days?
I think he's dead.
Bruce Wayne?
Oh, well, I was thinking Adam West. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
Penguin.
the penguin. Yeah,
Hush you.
we got there eventually, Kate.
I understand that but the penguins in Australia are you only find that particular species in Australia, the toxic Australian penguin.
Yeah, there are
everything
penguins
was
that you
big,
only
right?
see within Australia, from down in Antarctica up to Australia. So they do actually appear on some of the other islands on the way through and that. So
Are they
So now I'm just
are they
picturing
still
like
toxic there?
that's a good
venomous
question.
penguins.
Venomous penguins. Now I've got to look something up.
That sounds like a really bad '90s band,
It
doesn't
does.
Well, everything
Yeah.
in Australia is there to kill you, so
Yes. Literally everything.
It makes perfect
Not true.
sense.
You probably have more dangerous things in the US than we do in Australia.
I don't
yeah,
think so.
it's called
Yeah,
Donald
I don't think so. You guys got
Well-
drop bears.
Two-legged things, then.
Oh, that is a beautiful video.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to a buddy at work the other day, and we were talking about how, I guess, with certain populations of animals, like polar bears, I guess, are becoming more scarce with the global warming and all that. Apparently, now I haven't looked into this. This is what he was telling me. They've been mating with grizzly bears, so we have like half polar, half grizzly bears somewhere north of where I live now.
Yeah, that's not uncommon though.
Isn't it? I don't know much about animals or anything for that matter, so I just hear they're like, cool.
They're apparently
Okay.
an extremely dangerous animal.
Although, are you kidding? You don't have to study it to know that. It's a mix of a polar bear and a grizzly bear. That's
Okay,
right there.
there are no venomous penguins, Jen.
Well, it's great to hear about a love story that crosses such lines like that. No? All right, I'll just
Okay.
be over here. I'm picturing, like, some sort of West Side Story class thing. The
Oh,
grizzly
with the polar
versus...
and the grizzly.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, isn't
With
that
the-
just
with the
Romeo and
polar bears-
Juliet,
with-
though?
What?
With the-
It's the same
West
thing.
Side Story is just Romeo and Juliet retold.
Well, yeah.
Let's see, what were the two gangs? The Jets and the...
Sharks, I think.
Oh, I don't remember. So which one would be the Jets, the polar bear or the Grizzlies?
When I think of the Jets, I just think of our hockey team. So I.
Go, 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 go.
Strength improved, yes.
Yeah, Jets and Sharks. That's right. I was totally right.
There you go, Hoser. You stole my beer.
You know, I was this years old when I finally figured out why the heck people get called hoser. Because apparently, like, it was the job of the losing hockey team to hose down the rink afterward, and so hoser means loser. At least that's what the internet said.
I just found that out now. I never looked into it.
I had no idea, and I got very, very curious. And well, that's what the internet is for. That inform.
Yes. Well, and the thing is too. I mean, me, and anyone that I know here, I've never, and none of my friends have ever called anyone a hoser as an insult. Well, jokingly say it, like especially when I'm on here talking to people that aren't in Canada, just to perpetuate a stereotype. But I've never once used that as an insult ever. I've never told them to take off either. But it's fun to say.
Hey,
take off, eh? Okay, I do say a fairly often actually. That's true.
Do you say I'm sorry a lot?
Yeah, but that's not so much of a Canadian thing as me just being a too kind person.
No,
thing.
that's a Canadian. It's a Minnesota. Thing. It's a Minnesota thing too.
Yeah, well, Minnesota is just Canada Junior.
I think it's just an American thing not to say sorry, because I'm with the Canadians. We say sorry a lot too. Although, to be fair, we fuck up more than they do. So,
I mean, I don't say I'm sorry a lot, but I'll say excuse me. I'll say please and thank you. I'm sorry happens, but not as often as those others. You know. Mm. But it's weird when you hold the door open for a stranger, where it's clearly your job to do it because it opens towards you. So you do that, and they give you a big dose of the stink eye. Like, what the hell's your deal, buddy? Do you want something? You know, I'm trying to be polite, and you're looking at me like I just insulted you. What the hell?
Jeez, people hold the door open for each other all the time here.
Oh yeah, and Minnesota is actually really, really friendly. Like now, I've only been like to Minneapolis and St. Cloud, but when I was there, like whenever I had to show someone my ID for anything, they'd see that I'm from Canada, and when they find that out, they'll tell you every single time they've been to Canada where they've been. They'll tell you where all the Tim Hortons in Minneapolis are. And I'm just like, I just want to go, please. Like, you're really polite, but it's been 45 minutes.
You know, everything I know about Minnesota comes from watching How I Met Your Mother. Because Marshall is from Minnesota, and that plays into the plot like big time a lot, many times. It's a good show. Watch it, or we're not friends.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. One of my favorite shows.
I've seen it.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get Robin's Canadian, then Marshall's from Minnesota. I forget where, like, is everyone else just from New York pretty much?
I thought the finale...
No, Ted's from Ohio.
Yeah.
I thought the finale of that show was just tremendously romantic and warm and fuzzy. Oh, I cried.
I didn't watch the last season.
You mean you got all the way there and then never watched it?
Yeah,
like
last season.
No, like honestly, they forced that ending. They really did, and it should not have ended like that. But
well, Richard Kimball finally caught the one-armed guy, so endings get schmaltzy. MASH, the Korean War ended.
Yeah,
that was a good show.
I must say though, wouldn't you have hated being his kids or grandkids kids? Wouldn't you have hated being his kids? He took a fucking long time to tell that story. They'd already grown up by the time he got to the end of it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because so I guess to keep the kids the same age, they actually had the script all planned out, and they did all those lines right at the beginning. And there were some contracts where they obviously couldn't divulge any information and all that. But I think it's kind of cool how they kind of already had the whole story and all that, so they had a lot of the jokes and all that. So, given that it wasn't done as they went, it's a lot of planning.
And the show went like 11 years too.
Yeah.
What you mean MASH?
No. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
Mash. I've
What's the
never
next
s-
article?
Yeah, let's go to
Yes,
the next
back on-
article. That was interesting, though. All right, so our next article comes from Japan,
Ooh.
and and Japan often has things that would appear strange to us. This has got to do
yes.
public convenience and privacy.
Oh my
Well,
gosh,
I
they
have-
invented masturbation booths, didn't they?
No, they
No,
have.
But that wouldn't surprise me. Considering
in
they have
an effort-
panty vending machines, that wouldn't surprise me.
In an effort to keep people from loitering in the public toilets, they have developed a transparent toilet, which is basically made out of this glass that General Electric pioneered, that you give it a charge of electricity and it goes opaque. And so they build these public bathrooms out of this material because people are afraid to go in there, publicly, or the street people and loiterers and stuff like that. Don't want to be caught in there.
And Jen's done it again.
Well, how long do they give you, though? I mean, what if you just went to Taco Bell after like some Alka-Seltzer and Pop Rocks? The next thing you know, you got this like juice that's building up hard to the point where if you let it out all at once, you'll lock yourself into orbit. So you need a couple extra minutes in the public toilet. And then it just goes completely translucent on you while you're like, not quite done pinching off this loaf and you still have to wipe. Is that really fair?
Well, they use a
I would
bidet
agree.
in Japan.
So, I mean, how long did it
Jen,
take
you
you?
have mostly covered everything in the article there. That yes, they're using that lovely semi-transparent glass that you can make either completely opaque or you can mostly see through by applying electrical charge to it. By the way, the default format for this glass is clear. You have to apply the charge to make it opaque.
So basically, you gotta whip it out first, and then if you're gun shy, you gotta wait until it starts going to even. And as soon as looking at you're not gonna get going. So it's like it's just.
Well, I was wondering that how they triggered it. Is it a motion sensor? Which means that if you're sitting
when the
on
person
the chair,
goes
like,
into the loo and closes it behind them, it triggers. The
how long do you
loos
go?
are on the side of the road, so basically you walk past them, you can see if somebody's in there using it. But they have when you go in, you close the door. It puts the electrical current into the glass, so the glass becomes opaque, and you can use the loo. But Jen is quite right. There is a timer system for it. So if you spend too long in the loos, they become clear again.
So
Yeah,
how
see,
long
and-
did it give you?
Yeah.
does that
It's
mean
quite
you
a
have to get up
reasonable
and
amount
open
of time.
the door and close the door again?
It's about 30 minutes you can spend in the loo. So I
Okay.
can't imagine, unless of course you'd had a particularly dodgy burrito, I can't imagine you were going to spend more than 30 minutes in there. But
Yeah.
still,
And I was gonna say, because I'm not the kind of guy that goes in the bathroom 2 seconds and I'm done. Like if I'm sitting down, I mean, like I'm the kind of guy I'll play crossword puzzles on my phone, I'll talk to people, I'll let my body do its thing. Like in the bathrooms at work, they have the sensors and the timers, right? And there are times I have to get up, pants around my ankles, I'm waddling over, like waving, like come on, lights, come back on. So
am I the only one who doesn't bring a phone into the John? Like
no,
I have.
never, ever.
I have like
Rarely
comic
ever
books
do.
and graphic novels in the bathroom just in case it's going to be a long one, but I never bring my phone with me. Is that weird?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll
Okay.
bring mine with me, but it stays in the pocket. I would never, ever use my phone or even want to talk to somebody while I'm in the bathroom. It's like,
talking to
good
somebody
Lord,
whilst
people.
you're on the toilet, no.
Yeah.
I don't even
Well, and
think
my-
I would text somebody whilst I'm on the toilet.
oh, I do, but
I know
just
some
find-
people who would not just text you, but send you a picture as well.
Oh! Well, they wouldn't
Look what
care
I
about
did.
these toilets, then, would they?
Well, I was gonna say back when back when I was young and my mom paid my cell phone bill, I had a different number. And then when I turned like 16, 17 and got a job, I went and got a new plan that I paid for, so I had to get a new number. and I guess someone had that number before me. And within like a week or two of having that phone, I get a picture of a log in a toilet, and someone says morning dump, and I'm like, I think you have the wrong number.
Oh, the thing that gets me about this is their whole reason apparently for making these loos is so that people can see how clean the toilet is before they go and use it.
But you can look at it and then decide not to use it once you're in there.
Exactly. And
Japan,
how much? Sorry.
I was just going to say, Japan as a nation is obsessed with their toilet functions.
Oh.
They're the people who are building all these toilets with remote controls and automatic heaters and automatic flushers and just everything.
Right.
They build the luxury toilets that cost $15,000.
Automatic
So what you're saying then is that toilets in Japan are like sports cars in the U.S.
yeah.
So the more fancy
Got
your toilet is, the larger your junk is.
Who was it that actually literally had like a gold toilet and they shat in it once and never used it again? There was like some
Trump.
See, I know Trump had a gold toilet. I swear there was someone in Hollywood who did it too.
Probably. I'd say there's been a few people who's done. I can't believe that Trump's got a whole room that's fucking gold.
What's the point?
Why? What is the point in gold leafing everything in a fucking room?
What purpose does it serve? Like, hey, look how much gold I have. Like, cool.
It feeds his ego.
It does, I guess, but still, I mean, that's not my concept of decor. Having one room that's entirely one fucking color is not decor.
See, Donald Trump only thinks he's sophisticated. He's the most, and I hate to use the stereotypic slur, but he's so trailer trash. It's not funny. The man is crude. The man is very unsophisticated.
Example.
I mean, like, if I was that rich, I'd probably still eat Twinkies and Doritos, but I'd own it. I wouldn't pretend to be all like toffee-nosed and highbrow. Forget it. But Trump does pretend, and that's the problem. Yeah. Well, one of many.
I mean, an example of that is the gardens in the White House. I don't know if anyone's seen the pictures that have been posted.
Oh, yeah.
They killed those cherry trees.
They tore out those cherry trees and half the garden just so he could have a fucking footpath. I'm like, what?
Like, does he ever actually walk through?
And then they had the gall to post
the rose garden with no roses.
Yeah, and then of course they have the gall to post the before and after pictures with that comment saying, "Doesn't it look so much better?" No, it fucking doesn't. And you don't remove trees unless they're a fucking danger.
It makes me wonder now how much power the president has to customize the White House. Like their own bedroom. How many decisions do they get to make about where they sleep in the White House?
Oh, I hope Melania gets plenty. like other end of the fucking White House. I mean, she started out with not sleeping in the White House at all, so hopefully it's the other end of the White House.
Yeah,
well, if you watch
Melania Trump capable of not squinting, or is she just wearing that much eye makeup that you can't tell she isn't?
It's probably the amount of Botox. It's the only way she can actually operate her eyes.
Oh, she's too young.
She just always looks like she's a little bit incredulous about whatever it is you're saying. She's always just sort of, did you really mean that? I don't know.
She's vain enough that she's already had Botox. She's vain enough, Jen.
I don't know her personally, so I can't say that.
I've seen some of the interviews that she's done, and she's pretty vain. Well, she comes across that way anyway.
I don't think that she's actually all that attractive at all.
I tell you what, she's still smarter than her husband.
Well, that's not saying.
I don't know. He's her husband. How smart can she be?
Well, he's rich.
Money.
She hooked up with him when she was broke.
Yeah, exactly.
That does explain a thing or two.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, seriously, like to get rich, she had to marry Donald Trump. And who wouldn't go to the trouble if you had as much money as she probably has now? Who wouldn't go to the trouble to find a black market dentist who can change your dental records, change your features, find a plastic surgeon who can like get rid of your fingerprints, and then leave with all that money that she got from Donald Trump? I mean, she can't actually love him, can she?
Well, maybe they have something. Well, maybe they have something in place, because keep in mind, he's pretty vain too, and like, like I'm Donald Trump kind of thing. So maybe they have an agreement, like, listen, in the public eye, we're together. Other than that, we can just go boink whoever we want, as long as we just look good in public.
I can't. Oh, it just gives me the creeps to even think of having to be in a bed with that man naked. It's just disgusting.
I wonder what he does with his toupee. I wonder if he's got a little stand on the side of the bed that he puts that hairpiece on.
I'm thinking like Velcro, just at nighttime, just.
And then to make the carpets match the drapes, I wonder if he actually has his pubes dyed.
I don't want to be.
Why are you making us think about this?
You can just rock me to sleep tonight, because that image sticking in my head now. Thank you so much.
As I was going down that line, I'm watching Punchy's face slowly realize where I'm going with that statement.
Well, okay. Well, since we're going to go in this direction,
no, we don't have to.
Do you think his pubes also have the same kind of like style as his hair, like kind of off to the side?
I'm sure there's someone out there who perms their pubes, but
well, should you have to perm your pubes? Aren't they kind of already curly?
Well, okay, fine, perm straight, whatever. Point being that I'm sure someone somewhere has had their pubes styled.
Well, yeah, it's called a Brazilian wax. There's the runway. There's just completely naked.
Mean more than just removing it. I mean, literally, like, here's the hair. Let's make it a different shape.
Okay,
and I don't mean shaving a shape into it. I mean the individual hairs need to be either curlier, less curly, streaked, whatever. Someone somewhere has done this.
Yeah, you know how they make those little miniature curling ones? I wonder if that's what they're for.
Oh God!
Go on to the next topic. I'm still waiting for Florida Man.
Actually, wait a minute. I know people who've done this. There's a guy I know from Seattle named Purple Mark. And, like, during Pride parades, he will often stroll about wearing nothing but big old rainbow curls. And we are not talking about, like, a clown wig. This dude has been, like, rainbow-colored for decades. And, yes, the carpet matches the drapes. Really nice guy. It's just one day something happened and he went, you know what, I'm going to be Purple Mark from now on. And he just started dyeing himself different colors.
So if he's all different colors, how is he Purple Mark?
It's
Maybe
just what people call him. I don't know.
Because he went purple at some point and they just called him Purple Mark.
Well, regardless, he's a really nice guy. So.
Yeah.
Well, and in all fairness, I've never seen pubes that aren't like a natural hair color, so I am curious now and intrigued.
I have.
Sometimes they're a different shade. I mean, I've seen blonde people who, for whatever reason, were a bit darker, and not just because they were a bottle blonde upstairs. So.
No, but I just mean like I've never seen like a natural like hair color. Like I've never seen like a vibrant purple or a teal or something.
The funniest thing I ever heard anybody say was that they realized that they were actually getting old when they found their first grey pube. I'm like, why? What? I don't go through my pubes to check out what colour they all are.
Well, it's possible the grey pube was there for a couple of weeks before it was noticed.
Alright, shall we move on to Florida Man before I break Jay's brain?
Yes, for Jay's sake, let's do this.
Alright. This one has to do with somebody who likes a particular version of soft drink. It happened in Panama. The guy's name is Gavin Lee. And, yeah, he used his truck for something.
This truck, was it used for decorations?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so.
Is this the one where the guy got caught having sex with multiple vehicles in a parking lot?
No, but that would have been an interesting one to grab, considering what we've just been talking about.
Wasn't there something in there about a soft drink?
There was.
Okay,
Well,
so
wasn't the main object of his affection tractors?
Oh, you've gone back to what Jay was talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's
I was gonna.
interesting.
Now,
Yeah, I
is this
think it
soft
might have been
drink
actually
known- Is this soft drink known for its caffeine content?
Oh, that's a good question. To be perfectly honest, it's a hard drink for me to get in Australia, and it's not one of my favourites.
Mountain Dew?
No, we get Mountain Dew everywhere.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I know what drinks you people have available in Australia.
Its last bit is a condiment.
Dr. Pepper?
That would be it.
You can't get Dr. Pepper in Australia, or it's
If
difficult.
we can, it's difficult. They're
Really
not
more
as common.
spice than a condiment.
Well, it's so misunderstood.
Okay, so Florida Man, Dr. Pepper, and what were
And
the
a
other
truck.
clues? And a
A tr- And a bar.
a bar.
Kind of bar.
One where
Okay.
you drink.
So he went into the bar,
With
asked
something.
for something similar. Well, hold on, let me get through this.
Yeah.
Walked into the bar, ordered a mixed drink, probably something like a rum and coke, but he wanted Dr. Pepper. They didn't have Dr. Pepper. He made a bit of a stink. It got ugly. He went out, got into his truck, revved it up, and drove straight through the front door just to teach him a lesson.
He did drive through the front door. I will definitely give you that.
Hey!
And I've knocked my earpiece out again. However, at the time he did it, the bar was closed.
He really wanted a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, he really wanted that Dr. Pepper.
He drove into the bar just to get Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah, and he didn't leave. He sat at the bar. He got out of his truck after ramming it, sat at the bar and drank his Dr. Pepper when the cops could arrive and arrest him. Apparently, he was sitting at the bar with a shotgun. So they actually even though there was nobody in the bar, they actually arrested him for robbery with a lethal weapon.
Now, was it his
there.
shotgun or was it the shotgun behind the bar?
Well, I
Like, was
don't
it
know. It
there?
doesn't actually say that in the article. So, yes, it's possible he went and grabbed the shotgun from behind the bar, but he was there with the shotgun when the cops came in. So they...
I have to say, I like my story better.
I do like your story better, actually.
Agreed.
I mean,
But
I don't know.
still, I mean, the fact that he was just sitting there waiting for the cops to show up and cart him off to prison, it makes me wonder what his motives were. I mean, sure,
Yeah.
he really wanted that Dr. Pepper, but apparently he felt enough remorse that he let the cops take him to jail for it. That's one hell of an expensive Dr. Pepper. I'm not prepared to pay that much for a soda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Well,
that's-
some people prefer to live in jail, so maybe he was committing a crime just to get
Exactly.
arrested.
That was
Something-
where I was going.
And it's one Dr. Pepper too. It's not like he went into the fridges and got a whole heap of Dr. Peppers and sat at the bar. I'm going to drink all these Dr. He went and got a drink, poured it for himself, sat down at the bar, and just was drinking it slowly and casually when the cops arrived. With his
heard
shotgun
of,
beside him.
Homeless people. I have heard of homeless people committing crimes just so they get thrown into prison to have a place to sleep and some food.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a pretty
that's
extreme
That's
crime.
not a new story. That's been going on since forever.
It's still a pretty extreme crime way to do a crime to get yourself put in prison for a while. I mean, I suppose.
Yeah.
Why in hell would you do it now when there's a pandemic?
Well, maybe that was part of it. Maybe he just didn't want to be in the bar when there were other people there.
Well,
He's really
I meant get thrown into prison.
Oh
now,
yes,
but
yeah,
okay.
definitely that.
You know,
Yeah, it is an interesting one.
Well, maybe he did something just really disgusting and vile and felt guilty and wanted to go to prison, but he didn't want to get his ass beaten by the inmates for the disgusting crime that it was, so he'd rather get accused of something that at least wasn't super disgusting.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard stories about what prisoners do to people whose crimes are so bad that even they're offended.
Like
You know,
things
like-
involving children and the
Yes.
elderly and like stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer.
That was the first one to pop into my head too. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he did feel remorse for his actions, but he didn't want to have that happen in prison. So maybe. Throwing ideas out there.
Oh, stop it, Columbia. You'll be fed soon. Hush, baby.
All right, because you got
I
that
love
one
you,
so
I've been able to
quickly,
hear
I
her.
will give you another Florida man. Okay, this one happened in Clearwater. It involves another robbery. It involves a guy who was, I don't know, in the act of his robbery, he decided he'd give himself an extra chance at doing well out of this robbery. And when he did do extra well out of the robbery, he was a bit stupid about how he tried to get that extra.
Probably going to need more than that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So wait,
He,
I guess
he-
first.
You could say he in his initial robbery he was a little bit lucky.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a massage parlor. He robbed them for money and wanted a happy ending, but they asked for his ID to get it, and he left his ID there.
Okay, it wasn't a massage parlor. It was a normal store that he robbed.
He wanted to get a pack of cigarettes, and they asked for his ID.
No, they didn't ask for his ID. But he didn't just rob them of cash when he robbed them. He robbed them as something else that a lot of convenience stores and newsagents sell.
Porn.
Yeah.
Something you would do something to later,
booze.
and it might give you more money.
Lottery.
Oh,
Porn.
Lottery
tickets.
tickets. Yes, he robbed them of of a whole heap of scratchies as well as the cash.
Never mind that there's serial numbers on those.
Yeah, and they can
That wasn't his big mistake.
higher.
His big mistake was he went and he did go and scratch them, and he had a couple of winners.
Oh God, did he bring them back to the same place to cash them in?
Bingo!
Oh,
that
what an idiot!
Hey,
Oh, what a schmuck!
Yeah.
remember me? I'm the guy that robbed you at gunpoint. I'm here to collect my winnings.
So Herbert McKellen, he robbed this store. He stole money from them, and on his way out of the store, he grabbed a wad of instant scratchy lotto tickets. There was about 13 or 14 of them. Grabbed those. He went home, scratched them. He had a winning $30 ticket in amongst the scratchies he grabbed. So he drove back to the same store he just robbed to try and claim the money that was on the ticket. The cops
The
were
same
there.
day. The same day.
The same day.
Oh.
What do you want to bet the guy believed that you couldn't cash it in unless you brought it back to the same place where you bought it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anybody who plays the lottery who doesn't know you can cash it anywhere.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like the kind of thing, like the way a 5-year-old would have reasoned it out. Oh, I bought it there. I have to cash it in there. And this guy sounds a little bit special. Like his mom never made him wear a helmet when he was a kid. So, well, anyway.
That's pretty funny though.
It is. It's absolutely brilliant. I just love the stupidity. I mean, you get a lot of really stupid criminals. I mean, we've had 3 of them in this lot.
Well, and I mean, you said that. I didn't think you'd meant the same day when the cops
Oh no,
were
it
there.
was
They were
the
filing
same
a
day.
report. Like
Yeah.
that's just the icing on the cake right there.
Yeah,
How
yeah. Apparently, the detectives weren't still there who'd gone and interviewed about the robbery, but the staff recognised who it was, phoned the police to say he's back. to claim his winnings, and the cops were basically around the corner. They'd only just left, so they just came
Was
back
he wearing
and got
the
him.
same clothing?
I was gonna say, is he still wearing like
Same
still wearing
day.
a bandana that he covered his face with?
Well,
and all
sure,
that?
same
Like,
day, but I'd like to believe he was at least intelligent enough to grab
No.
a change of clothes first.
So he had to go to jail with the same undies he was wearing? Ew.
That's funny though.
Wow. I mean, you know, it's times like this when I start to feel actually genuinely intelligent.
Oh, it's amazing. I should just do Florida Mans for these. They're entirely brilliant.
Now I've heard the phrase "Florida man" before. Is that like a meme for like just dumb criminals in Florida, or is that just like for dumb criminals in general?
No, it's
No,
Florida Man.
it's just
Type in
the
your birthday
frequency.
and it's followed by Florida Man and just read the articles.
Yeah.
The frequency with which Floridians do nutty crap is just so much higher than the rest of the country.
And then the reason it's called that is because when they do the news story, it's always Florida man, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I also heard that they're starting to realize that there's the same dynamic with a South Carolinian man.
Yeah?
Yeah, so maybe a whole new show.
Hey.
Like one of the Florida Man articles from the date of my birth, for the 26th. This is a Florida man robs a Krispy Kreme demanding 10s, 20s, and donuts.
10 20s and donuts.
Wait, what do you
I
type
hope
in?
those
Sorry?
donuts were in non-sequential order, though.
Well, that makes sense. I'm going to rob a donut store. I'm going to want some donuts. I wouldn't take Krispy Kremes. Ugh. Those are horrible.
All right, but before I do the Wikipedia article, I'll give you one more Florida man. This particular Florida man, he's going away for a long time for what he did, but it's his excuse that is hilarious. This happened in Largo. This particular man, Gary Kyle Stinger, was arrested and put into jail for something he did in front of children.
Ew.
So, not, definitely deserves to go away for a decent amount of time for what he did. But
Did he stand?
What
Did he stand by
excuse
their?
did he give for it?
Did he stand by their playground and start yelling at them about flat Earth?
It's just flat.
Oh, I so wish that was the one. No, much worse.
Okay, does this involve him getting himself off?
It does.
Okay.
Did he say
I just
that
wanted
his...
to get the obvious out of the way first. Was he in a Barney costume?
No, he was not.
Where's
Did-
Waldo? Was it SpongeBob? He was dressed as SpongeBob, wasn't he?
No, he was just in normal clothes. The important thing of this is his excuse that he gave to police as to what he was doing.
Oh, I bet he said, I'm doing it here so that I get rid of the temptation and don't go grab one of them.
Oh, no, he didn't say that, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. He said he was adjusting something.
Did he say what?
His underwear was riding up his butt.
No. No, something more physical than that.
His
he
throat was
lost
sticking
his
to his
keys
leg.
down there.
He was adjusting his butt plug.
He usually hangs to the right, and he accidentally was hanging to the left.
Well, see, I'm thinking it's Florida, right? So it's humid and it's hot, and of course, when it's things dangle and they stick. I'm thinking that his junk was sticking to the inside of his leg, and you just had to kind of scrape it off there.
Boys are
Ew,
weird.
jeez.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. That's all I got. I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So his
This would be a
excuse-
medical excuse.
How long ago was this?
This was March last year.
March of last year. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the pandemic.
No.
Was he doing something with a thermostat? I do this to cool off, officer. No.
I'm trying. We're trying to have a baby. I'm trying to keep them all at the right temperature. Now that would be brilliant, but no, it wasn't.
Okay. He was adjusting something. Not the tide or the orbit of the Earth.
I mean, people would normally have surgery for this.
Come on, Jay. Come on, Punchy. You have that equipment. You got to know something we don't.
I
So
said,
you're saying this wasn't something about circumcision?
No, it wasn't about circumcision.
Okay.
Yeah,
Something that could be quite painful if you actually had.
He was putting a catheter in.
Sorry? I heard
Putting a
catheter.
catheter in.
No.
A piercing?
Mark
No.
Caesar said, was he adjusting his colostomy bag?
No, but Mark's got a lot closer.
He took an overdose of Viagra and had been stiff. for
Ilya
more than
wins
4
the
hours.
prize.
Hernia.
He told police officers he wasn't masturbating. I was adjusting my hernia.
Oh God. Inguinal, huh?
Yeah. Apparently, his bond was set at $80,000.
Oh,
He was not a
jeez.
wealthy man. They did not want him out.
That's about the cost of a hernia operation, isn't it?
Yeah. It would have been a lot cheaper on him.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is, it would make me laugh so fucking hard if it turns out that's really what was happening.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
But even still, it's like you as just a sane person, if that actually was happening, you'd be smart enough to realize there are children here. I'm at a playground. I might at the very least go stand in the bushes over there because it'll just look bad.
Well, I don't know.
Although
Some
I
people
don't know
are just that dumb.
I don't know that him getting caught standing in the bushes would look any better on his police record.
No, but I'm just saying, make the effort, right? Like, just don't do it right there. I mean,
Like, at least face in the other direction or something?
It
it's
doesn't say he'd actually pulled his pants down or anything like that. So it is conceivable that perhaps he wasn't lying and he was just trying to adjust himself. But
yeah, and even
outside, in front of children, surely he could have
Exactly.
put up with his pain for just a little while longer and found somewhere a little bit more private.
yeah, well, exactly. It's
I,
like just common sense.
There are two things Ilya put in there.
Yes, I was going to get to Ilya's.
Florida
Can you
man
read it, Jay?
Florida man on her date of birth, the Florida man who found out his father helped deliver him when he was born inexplicably smashed hot pizza in the older man's face upon learning the news.
What?
And then I looked up one for Raven's birthday, and it says Florida man was arrested for attacking other drivers with kindness. Kindness was the name of his machete.
Oh!
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair, the guy maybe didn't really notice before he started adjusting whatever he was adjusting. It's possible, because sometimes you can miss a very obvious yet crucial detail. I've told this story before, but I don't know if I've told it here, where my parents and I were doing this charity thing where we were handing out like Christmas items to old people, and they were practical items, toothpaste and like socks and stuff. And I must have been 5 or 6, and I'm handing a sock to this old guy, and all of a sudden I realized that he had his legs blown off in World War II or something. And so here I am, this little 6-year-old trying to hand socks to a legless man. And so I mean, maybe like this is total devil's advocate shit here, but maybe he's like, oh shit, this is really, oh crap, kids. You know, I mean, maybe that could have been, maybe.
Questionable.
That's it's a little bit different though.
Yeah.
No one doesn't realize that they're standing in a playground or near one if they're standing in one or near one.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to play with your junk.
Yeah, and if you see a person, your natural assumption is going to be that they have legs unless you actually look, right? Like, I'm not just going to automatically assume they don't. So you could there's a big difference, I'd say. And you were 6.
Well, I suppose, but still.
Yeah. No. But here's the thing. The Lago police said a group of kids under the age of 16 were walking home from school in an undisclosed location when they noticed Stinger looking directly at them as he stood against a window and masturbated.
Oh my god.
Okay, I was picturing like kindergartners. I didn't realize they were 16. That's a little different.
Yeah, that's fine
So-
in that case then. Like,
So he was in his own house, but up against the window.
Yeah. Well, he was in somewhere up against a window.
maybe it's just a random pane of glass on the street. Huh? Just well,
or he's leaning up against the window. Which apparently he continued to do until they screamed and ran away. Well, they don't know if he continued doing it afterwards because they screamed and ran away.
yes.
So that's not the side of somebody who was just adjusting themselves.
No. No.
Although I tend to think that the article's thing of that he pulled it out to masturbate in front of the kids is not exactly accurate when you read that line of it. He was doing it anyway, and they walked in on him. Well, not in on him.
Dibs
He
on the
was in
punching the
fucking
cobra
public
joke.
though. Yeah.
Dibs on the punching the cobra joke.
Oh, definitely.
But anyway.
Yes, that's pretty dry. Pretty bad. Okay, so let's move on to the wiki article. What can you guys tell me about Rooster Rock State Park?
Which to what state park?
Rooster.
Now the
Rock
height of it.
State Park. Oh, good, I found something Jen doesn't know anything about.
That would be a state park in New Hampshire that has a rock configuration near a lake that looks like the head and neck of a rooster.
Okay, it's very hard to find anything Jen doesn't know something about. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's in Oregon.
Oregon.
It's in
I'm
Oregon, unfortunately, but it's a column of basalt and is a natural. It's forming a natural obelisk that locals say looks like the head and neck of a rooster. European locals say it looks like the head of a rooster and its neck. What did the indigenous people say it looked like?
Meat and two beans.
You know, I'm going to decide not to go with the obvious answer and say they thought it was a sea serpent.
No, Punchy is more accurate.
Actually, I didn't hear what Punchy had said.
Twigs and berries.
Oh, twigs and berries. Okay, I thought you said something about bears.
Yeah,
No, I said meat and beans.
the local Chinook people's word for the rock was eyewash, which I'm probably butchering because I have no idea how to speak their language, which means penis. So basically,
How is that word spelled? Eyewash?
yeah, eyewash. That's how it's spelled.
How's it spelled?
Eyewash. The letter I and then the word wash.
I-W-A-S-H.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ewash.
All right.
Eyewash. Yeah.
Well, that would make sense.
It's
you know,
probably Ewash.
when you do a blowjob when you pull out. And
I was gonna
swallow,
say you get excited. You can
and-
clean any part off you
comes
want.
up and you
Really.
have to then you have to wash your eyes and stuff.
It's pronounced Chinook, by the way.
Chinook. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is too.
But yeah.
Chinook. Yeah.
I seen the picture, and yeah, that doesn't look like a rooster.
Well, hey, when you think about it, though, roosters are also known as cocks. So maybe that's what they were being polite. It's kind of like how our national animal is the beaver, you know?
And we revel in the fact that we have a
Oh,
park
hush you.
known as the Grand Tetons, which is French for tits, as I understand it.
Well, you know, I have to say I'm a bit, if we're going to go to bodies of water next, I'm rather a fan of Lake Titicaca.
Oh, yeah. Great name.
Well, and you guys know... I'm sorry.
No, go.
I was going to say, speaking of bodies of water that look like junk, you know how Florida is kind of known as America's wing? If you ever look at the Hudson Bay above, north of Manitoba and Ontario, the little part looks like a water version of Florida. It's got a wing.
It's weird because whenever I look at the United States, I don't see what other people see. What I see is Maine is like the head of a bird with a beak coming out. Then you've got Florida is one leg and Texas is another leg, right? And then you get this big turkey-like sort of bushy tail end with all the West Coast states. It always looked to me like a chicken or a turkey or something.
Which makes a lot of sense with Trump as your president.
And my phone has one of those voice thingies, and it activates when I don't want it to, because the word to activate it sounds like bunches of other words. And so sometimes I see my phone start writing shit, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Those are my words. Why?"
Alexa, turn on the fire alarm.
Yeah, except this time it's Bixby. Shut up, phone. I didn't say your name. I just,
That's brilliant. I've had I was reprogramming my mum's phone for her and trying to get her voice activation working, and it wouldn't bloody work. And I was trying to get it to do auto dial when she said she should ask her phone to dial someone, and I'm trying to get it to go, and I'm trying to get it to go, and all of a sudden I hear my phone ring, and it's my sister calling me to say I'd phoned her 5 times on my phone because my phone was reacting to me, but my mum's wouldn't. I didn't even realize I called her.
That's funny.
So you only get certain phones excited.
As far as the name for Rooster Rock State, apparently, it was only renamed to that in the 1950s. Prior to that, it actually had the local Indian name attached to it until somebody actually went and found out what it meant.
See, and that's why I'm assuming they changed it to Rooster, because it's still synonymous, but it just sounds less dirty,
It sounds less dirty. But why? Because everyone who speaks English is going to go, "Oh, rooster, cock, looks like a cock."
Yeah.
How many people actually can speak Chinook? Apart from people who are actually Chinook.
Well,
okay. But
there's
I know a couple of
salmon.
words in Abenaki.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. You've changed it from a word that most English speakers are not going to know what the meaning of it is unless they've gone and found it out, to a word that people go, "You've called it rooster. Why have you called it rooster? That looks like a penis."
Have you ever investigated the meaning or definition or anything like that behind the name of the state of Idaho?
No. Do fill us in.
Wait a minute. Idaho?
Idaho, between Washington and Montana, where all the Nazis live.
Well played, Kate.
Okay, it took me a while. I get it now.
Leave it to the Canadian to be a little slow.
Hey, it's like I always say, I moved here from Canada and they think I'm slow, eh?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, guys. You all did very, very well.
I get a gold star.
You get a gold star. I think Jen once again has proved to me that her knowledge is amazing, and she keeps knowing stuff that I don't think she'll know.
Well, that's not fair. You're not asking me things about Canada. I know all about it.
Well, I was expecting the entire panel to be American originally.
That is true. Well, I'm learning. After talking to all these Americans here, I'm just learning to be American.
You're America adjacent.
That is true.
Even if you don't want to be at the moment, you're American adjacent.
Well, can I please reiterate the request that Canada annex Washington, Oregon, and California, please? Oh, and take Vermont too.
Yeah.
No, they can't do that until they annex Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan.
And in all honesty, you are actually American. Canada is still part of North America.
I know, but I think people in the States have just taken that to mean that they're American, and that includes South and North America.
I've always felt a little weird about that, actually. As soon as I learned that the United States and America weren't entirely the same thing, I'm like, so should I call myself American? But USAian doesn't work. United Statesian, state, I don't know. I mean, what? How do
Yeah.
you say I'm from the United States in an N-ish or E's way?
I
Well, you
think
say
the
you're a
reason it works
Yankee
for you
Doodle
guys
Brandy.
is, I mean,
You can
the
call-
United States
you-
of America is the only named place in America that actually has America in it. So I think that's where it works.
What you could do is you could just call yourself a Southern Canadian, like a deep Southern
You
Canadian.
could just call yourself what the rest of the world has been calling us since our inception.
Shitheads?
Americans.
Americans, yeah,
Yes.
pretty much. So I'm going to wrap up in a little bit, but I want to say thank you to you all. But is this before we end out? Is there anything anyone wants to show? What have you got coming out?
I have a blood test on Monday.
Oh,
All
good
right.
luck with that.
Thanks. I've been studying hard.
I was sure someone was going to mention that.
You watch it, they're gonna take your DNA and clone you.
No. It's just they're going to test for rat poison.
What have you been
You,
up to?
because you're taking anticoagulants. Fuck me, I can't say the words. Yes.
I take rat poison.
Yes, you take rat poison. Racumin or warfarin?
Warfarin.
Warfarin.
I'm from Wisconsin. I would never take anything other than warfarin.
Warfarin.
Now, do you know why?
No, I don't, and you're gonna have to tell me now.
The name warfarin, spelled WARFIN.
And yeah.
The patent holder is the University of Wisconsin, specifically the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation.
Oh.
How about that?
Where's the
Neato.
in part?
Well, they just add that on.
No.
But-
Because
that's where-
the word would be hard to say without the.
Yeah, that's how it was coined.
Yeah. That's kind
How's
of
that for
cool.
useless trivia?
I
their phone
love
number-
useless trivia.
And their phone number is 608-263-2500.
Well, I knew that. That's just common knowledge.
309. Anyway.
Now, why do I know that?
Because you got the article up in front of you.
No, because the shop I used to have in Milwaukee had the phone number 414-263-2500, and I was fielding calls for the Alumni Research Foundation for years.
Funny,
You want to speak to who? Just a moment.
And it's funny when you think about it. It's like, up until 20 years ago, any number that you had to call more than once, you generally knew. Now I couldn't think of any number off the top of my head. But I can remember numbers that I knew as a child, but I can't remember any now. Like any of my
That's true.
friends.
Yeah, if it's not in the phone
You have to
itself.
dial everything. Now you just push your contact and call them.
Well, you don't call them now. Now it's just all texting. Like, I don't know why I pay for unlimited on my phone. I would never in a million years use this for the one time I use it to call someone a month.
I used
But
to have a sheet
Columbia,
at my shop
hush.
of phone numbers that was 10-point type, single spaced, 3 pages long of phone numbers, and I had them all in my head. The page was there for the employees who didn't have them in their heads, and I can remember all those numbers to this day, but I can't remember I know my own phone number, but I have to look up my brother's phone number. It's on my speed dial, but if I have to know it, I don't.
Yeah. We don't learn numbers now. I used to know everyone's numbers that I called regularly and everything, but I couldn't tell you what a friend's phone number is now.
Yeah, I remember the cheat sheets by the telephone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and it's not fair now because back when I was young, Winnipeg only had one area code, or Manitoba, I should say. Now we have two. So now some numbers start with 204, some start with 431. That's 10 whole digits. What am I? A rocket surgeon?
I
With-
think
with-
Vermont still only has the one area code. I'm not sure.
Wisconsin is up to 5 area codes.
Wow.
Yep, Vermont is still 802, and that's it.
So, Kate, what have you got coming up?
Well, the truth is, I've been sort of ignoring my channel lately. I've put out like one video this month. Part of that is just because I'm working so hard on this new animation project. I've got about like almost 5 minutes in the can right now.
Okay.
And, it's some of my best work ever, to be perfectly honest. Not saying it's good, it's just better than the other shit I've done. So that's part of it, but part of it is also I'm just not having as much fun as I used to. So either this is time off or I might start heading in another direction. We'll see.
I get you on that. That's
anybody
why
in the chat?
I've sort of swapped with stuff I'm doing as well, because you've got to change it up. If you're always debunking the same things or doing exactly the same thing, it gets boring. So you have to have some variety in what you do.
And I've been at this for 12 years.
Oh yeah.
So, but
anyone
when I
in the
first
chat?
started my channel, originally the idea was animation. Like the atheism thing sort of happened by accident. I may be switching gears that hard and going back to animation entirely soon. I don't know. We'll see.
Anybody who doesn't know Kate, the Bionic Dance's channel, do go to it and subscribe and try to catch some of her videos. She really does some very quality animation.
Can someone put it in the
shucks.
side chatter?
She does. And I should be posting people's links, and I haven't even got them in the description at the moment because I wasn't exactly sure who was going to be our guests until this morning. So,
Makes sense.
well, 3 of you I was sure of, but the other one I wasn't. So,
Yeah.
So I
It's
just
gonna be-
looked it up. Michigan's got 12 area codes.
Holy crap.
2 of them are just in the Detroit area. Detroit's
See-
got 2 different area codes.
That's more area codes, and there are people that live in Manitoba. Like that's cool.
so there we
Shouldn't it,
go.
in this day and age, shouldn't it really be Personatoba?
Sorry?
The people in the chat, Kate is BionicDance, so I've got her link down there.
Bionic Dance. That's the routine that what's her name?
Okay.
Can't remember the character's name in Seinfeld. What's her name?
Oh, Elaine?
Oh, you mean Elaine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elaine's dance number. Isn't that Bionic Dancing?
No,
No.
the name Bionic Dance is actually something I made up. It was from the 80s cartoon show Bionic 6, where whenever they would activate their powers, they couldn't just go, oh yeah, ring, wrist thingy, click. No, they had to do a whooshing, swirling, martial arts looking dance thing first, shout Bionics on, and then activate, right? And I was watching it one day going, they're doing the Bionic Dance, aren't they? And a name for an animation company was born.
I might have to get you to put your own in there, Jay, because yours isn't in my list for some reason. I think that's because you and I are always on the same stream, so I'm not normally shilling you.
I got it.
Also, doing this as hard as I did really hurts.
Well, don't do that then.
I know.
You just reminded me of Donkey in Shrek, Every time I do this, it hurts.
Did you ever do that like 1 or 2 finger slap thing right here on your wrist?
No.
Let's see, where am I? Right across this, and just like that, and it hurts like fucking hell.
So why did you just
So
do
why
it?
would I do it?
Yeah.
Because I'm a masochist.
Okay, fair enough then. Well, whatever floats your boat there, Jenny.
Hurt me, said the masochist. No, said the sadist. But
So Jay, what have you got coming up?
Not much. I'm changing the way I'm going to be doing stuff. I think I'm going to be going every other week on the weekly live stream, and then on the opposite weeks putting out a video. So like I didn't have the live stream tonight. I'm over here with Jen. So I'm going to be working tonight on my video. I'm hoping to get it done tonight, but there's a lot of information, so I might get most of it done. That'll be on the United States and their firearm problem. Because when I looked, was it on the 20th? So 2 days ago, we're up to 26,000 deaths due to firearms.
Shit. That's
Yeah.
this year?
This year. 15,000, 15,000, what was it? 15,000 suicides, 11,000 homicides, 386 mass shootings. And that's just this year.
So America's had the number of killings with shootings of a large town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were there any density shootings?
I haven't. You're talking the mass shooting stuff.
mass density.
Yo.
It's a joke.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got quite a few bookmarks for different things. I'm going to try to compare, like, other country populations with populations of the United States. Like Texas compared to, say, I think it was like closest, like Australia and Texas were close in total combined people. So showing the differences between, say, Australia and just the state of Texas in gun violence itself.
Yeah.
England and whatnot. So yeah, we definitely have a problem over here, and things need to be fixed.
We kill as many people on our streets with guns as all the Americans who died in the Vietnam War.
Darn it, we can do better.
So yeah, that's just this year. That's just this year. So far this year, like there was a shooting not too long ago. 21 people were shot. Well, one fatality in 21 injuries.
That's
However,
crazy.
we also kill between like 40 and 50,000 people a year on the highways.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. What cars kill more people than guns do?
Yeah.
Having said that, more people use cars than use guns.
And also, the car ones aren't intentional.
Right.
Oh,
Some might be.
yeah.
Some might be.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's
actually, this was some pretty disturbing footage from Seattle when the riots were like pretty big.
Yep.
Like those two people got hit on the bridge, and I saw the footage of them actually getting hit, and it literally looked like something out of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, bodies flew that far, that high. I didn't think that was real. It looked horrible. I mean, it was fascinating in a like morbid sort of way, but it was horrible.
Wow.
So tonight's video, like I said, I'm going to work on it tonight. Like I said, it's a big topic, so I don't know if I'll get it all done tonight. It may take a couple days to get it done. The next week, Saturday coming up, I'm thinking we're just going to do Florida Man all night. Either Florida Man or Karen videos.
Oh, let's go with Florida Man. We'll do some more of this as Florida Man. We've broken the waters already, so Florida Man's good.
Why don't you go hybrid and do all Florida Karens?
Ooh, there you go, Florida Karens.
Florida Man and Karens in general.
So my next video after the gun video will be my Edmund Kemper serial killer video. We'll get that one done.
Why does America have so many guns? Because we have so many Karens.
Yeah.
Oh,
so many Karens and so many Chads.
Chads and
See, that's the thing, though, is I can't help thinking that it's more that we have way too many Cletuses.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, that's a good name for Florida Man, isn't it? Cletus.
Cletus, yeah. Hey, Brian Dean. I could call my mom while I'm up here.
So, Punchy, what have you and Ilya got coming up?
Well,
she goes, if you guys didn't check it out and didn't see it, yesterday I was on Dave Worley's podcast talking about food.
I saw that. Well, I saw most of
that. What do Punchy and Ilya have coming about? Well, I would think Punchy's junk.
Oh!
Sorry, Ilya.
She's not sorry.
So, go ahead, Punchy.
Okay, so yeah, on our channel we sit down with debunkers. So it's the same shows as before. Like there's the creepy show Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central, and then so tomorrow is going to be Equality at 12 p.m. Central, and that's with Jeff Scoop, who we had a couple like a month or two ago, and so he's a reformed neo-Nazi. And then on Monday we have the Weekly Derp. Thursday is a new show we have called Thursday Thrust, and we call it that because the first 2 episodes have been me building a Lego Saturn V of me and the guys just shoot the shit. And then...
We were just talking about guns.
We've told stories of us pooping our pants, we've talked about guns, we've talked about just anything. It's no holds barred. But, yeah.
It's an all-guys show, right?
Yes. It's pretty, just guys talking guy stuff. So a lot of poop. And yes. And yeah, then there's Mr. Victory. He was in the side chat a bit earlier, and he has his show, Let's Do This, which will be next Saturday, a bit after the Creepy Show. And that's kind of a weekly schedule, so that's what we have coming up.
There's poop in a can.
Poop in a
Yes,
can.
and Poop in a Can and Thursday for us are kind of a mix together. So,
Awesome.
yes.
So everyone's busy. All right, so
Sorry, when we started talking about Florida Karens, I was thinking if a flock of Karens is a privilege, what would a flock of Florida Karens be? And I'm thinking it would be a Kissimmee of Karens.
so what's
Or
a flock?
possibly a lot.
What's a group of Cletuses called?
A tractor
Okay.
pull? I don't know.
Oh, I like that tractor pull of Cletuses. That's good.
That's pretty.
I was thinking about maybe a Miami of Karens, or I don't know. There aren't really good Florida words to
Tampa.
turn into a
Palmetto.
Tampa of Karens,
Tampa.
sure.
Well, I still like a gaggle of Karens. That one just makes me giggle.
Mm,
I think it's funny, but maybe it's because I'm Canadian. I don't know.
A gaggle's alright.
well,
All right. Well, I will be recording this evening and hopefully getting out at probably this evening my time. So that's morning for you guys, and then getting out tomorrow evening for you guys another naked video where I'll be talking about sex and relationships. I'm hoping to get the editing finished done on my documentary video about the Singing Rages. I know I've been talking about that for like 3 weeks now, and I just have not had time to do it. What with the fact because I'm moving house. We're in the process of packing up this place and getting ready to move house. So yeah, I haven't had as much time as what I'd like to have. So but yes, that's what I've got heading out this way. But ultimately, what I want to do is say thank you to all you guys, to Jay, to Kate, to Jenny, to Punchy for being here, being part of this. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to Raven and Ilya. I hope you're feeling better soon, Ilya. Tuscan Girl. Who else was there? Mr. Victory. Mark. Yeah, there were others. Peter, who was there earlier, she is still not very well, but she's getting there. And everyone else, thank you all so much. And I will be putting out another one of these later in the week. So some more guests. Jenny will be here again, I'm sure. Won't you? Unless, of course, you're having to travel. Are you having to travel?
No, you pay me pretty good. I'll be here.
Okay. All right. No worries, and thank you all very much, and have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
have fun.
Bye.
Catch you like the plague.